The shit, it is again stuck. The screen. It will never be fixed. It shall never be fixed. And now it is working. hmm Yep. So what we have been doing in this series is yep. Um. Yeah. So what we have been doing in this series is trying to make a terminal-based application, which I will say, let's say, it will be called show chat or something. And when I press enter, it will start to show my chats for the live stream. If there are ever any chats, then they will show up here. And we started with that goal, and I had decided that I will write the program in C, so I had to figure out how to send and receive HTTP requests in C, which I did. Let me open up Excalibur. Yep, of course, Excalibur. Yep. Uh, so for the program, I had to figure out how to send HTTP TTP requests in C, right? I did that, but then I went a level lower because I had to make a server which, okay, before getting into the weeds, let me explain from an overall point. So, first I figured out how to send HTTP requests from C, and then the goal is to send requests to YouTube's API to get live chat messages. Right? I saw the YouTube API documentation, and there we figured out that to get the chat, we have to first authenticate our application, right? We did that. No, we did not do that. We had to get credentials from our Google account, which we will send with every single request to get some response. Credentials, right? Credem is fine, right? We got the credentials, and then we saw that with these credentials, I was able to send a request and get some responses, and I can actually send some requests right now. And yep, this is the program. This sends requests to Google's API for a video, which is right here. This is my key, and I guess this is not working right now because I deleted it. I'll see. And this is a channel's ID. I guess this is my channel's ID, and yeah, this just captures the response and prints it. Let's see, dot slash client live stream 72 dot out. Okay, curl easy cleanup reference from architecture arm 64 linker. Okay, okay, curl does not exist. There was a tag which I had to use with it, right? What was it? Client live stream dot out. Icon, icon dot slash out. And yep, this is the response. API key expired, as I said. Now, if I were to go to uh, get my API key, developers google.com, yep, somewhere here I will, nope, not in this. Remove the YouTube from the end and go there, developer program products, nope, no, nope. I have my own projects in here somewhere. Mm, Google credentials API key. Yep. Google development credentials. Yeah. Console. Google console. Yep. Inside credentials, I can get a key. Show key. This is the key. I will copy it and I will go there and paste. Ah, shit. Uh-huh. Yep, it is working now. And I can go there. This is the new key, and shit, I have to copy this and go to here, VF, and paste. Yep, this should work. And shit, this mouse. Yep, should work. And let's see. Failure when receiving data from yes, this was a problem which I was facing, that uh, yeah, when I was capturing the response using my write data function, then I was facing problem. But if I was not capturing the response and letting the response go to standard output, it was being printed successfully like this. Right here, YouTube channel, this is the name of the channel, here is the description, custom URL, published at, and everything. And when was this published? 2023. Okay, it's been like 1.5 years, right? So yeah, through this, I got the credentials and was able to send request to YouTube API, right? And then I saw the documentation to get live chats, and it said that to get live chat, I have to authenticate my program. My program, which is going to display the chats, it has to be authenticated, and to authenticate it, I have to send request to Google's OAuth service on behalf of myself, and that happens when I my program gives will give out a link and redirect, let's say, redirect the user to a link, to a Google link, and there the user will allow my program to give access to users details, right? And to the users YouTube data, like the live chat data. And when I have done that, I have to provide the the Google page which I redirect the user to. I have to provide that page a link, server link, where the after the user has authenticated themselves, after the user has logged in and allowed my program to access data, Google will send you can say an access token to this server link which I provide. So I have to create a server in C which will capture the response for this request. And for that, I had to create a server in C. And in C, servers are created using some things called sockets. Sockets are not something specific to the HTTP protocol, and they are not even specific to TCP protocol. They are just ways to communicate over the internet, and I can create my own protocol there if I want to. These are just connections between two computers. These are just used to connect two computers which are over the internet and send data between them. So I have created now a server using a socket. But now the problem is that when this server is online, this is only accessible over my local network. That is, only the devices which are connected to my Wi-Fi are able to access this server. I want this server to be global, so that the Google so that Google can send me the token that it needs to send me. so that Google can access the server and give the token to this server. So now our goal is to make our services available on a global scale so that anyone over the internet can connect to the server. And I have to be not stupid about this, because if anyone can send a requests to my server, which is running on my laptop, then they might be able to send some malicious data, some malicious thing which I should not want to have on my computer. And so yeah, I have to be careful. And now what I have seen is stuff is not working out. Here my server is online, and if I do run the client side code, see, it is not working. It ain't working. And what I suppose is that connection is failing from even the local network now. So what I think is happening, that the IPv6 address which I provided in this here, this IPv6 address, maybe it is a temporary address, and that is why I am unable to send a request to it. Let's see, to get my IP address, I have to do curl if config.me, right? And that is crazy. Curl back 6 if config.me. Yep. So it did change. And why the fuck did that happen? It has to become 0. Clang. Nope. Uh, client dot c dot slash. If I run the server now, dot slash server and dot slash client. Yep, I get a response now. But why did it change? Why did the server address change? Why did I got allocated a new value, a new IP address? And if this is going to happen every time, how the fuck am I going to have some consistency? See, now it is working with the new IP address. It is working now. Okay, so I have quite a few questions now. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So I wrote some server socket program and also some client socket program. I gave the client program the IPv6 address that I got from curl 6 if config.me, but after some time the IP uh, address for my Wi-Fi interface changed. What the fuck? Is your IPv6 address changed? Because that is because of how IPv6 addresses assignment works. Okay. Here are the reasons why your IPv6 address over your Wi-Fi interface might have changed. Privacy extensions, temporary address. IPv6 supports okay. If config, I will do if config. Wait, if config en0, right? And these are the addresses, right? The current one is this, which is temporary. Okay, which is temporary, and this one There's also this one. Uh-huh. Let's see if this one works. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me replace. And is the server running? Yep, the server is running. Let's see, and that does work. That does work, and I do get something on the server. Yep, post or get, it doesn't matter. I'll get stuff either way. Yep, and the last time that I ran this command, I guess there were three IPv6 addresses, not just two, right? I ran this command in the morning. Yeah, no, this is not it. Uh-huh, this, no. Hello server connected. Okay, it doesn't seem to be here. Mm, nope, nope. I was going too deep into this. Okay, it is not here. So yeah, why does it change? IPv6 support privacy extension RFC 44941, okay, which generate temporary address that periodically change to prevent tracking. 4941 RFC 44941. Yep, 4941. Is there an RFC for sockets? RFC socket. Definition of socket. Okay, that is crazy. I have an RFC for a socket and RFC TCP. Yeah, TCP is built on top of socket and HTTP. Let's see, RFC for HTTP. It is 2616, and that is pretty long. That is pretty long. RFC, and there must be an RFC for SHA-256 or SHA-256 7677. It ain't that long. It ain't that long. I can code this on myself. Of course, I can code this on myself by myself. Scar. Uh-huh. Updates to SCARM. Wait, is this like the original one? To SHA-256. Okay, this is the one. SHA-250, and that is long. That is long. And why is the United States of America has adopted a suit of fucking SHA and SHA based HMAC HKDF SHA. Oh, yeah. Getting back to this. When you run curl 6 if config.me, it might be returning one of your temporary address which later expires and gets replaced. Okay, look for the one without temporary or depreciated. Okay, solutions use stable public IPv6 address, the one marked autoconfig but not temporary. Of the one returned instead of the one returned by curl-6 if config.me. Okay, okay. And so I have a temporary address which changes due to security reasons so that I am not being tracked. Xconfig en o uh, grep init 6, right? And this one is local. This one is autoconfig but secured, not temporary. This one is temporary. Okay, let me check. I set a friend of mine an IP address. Let's see if it matches any of these. Uh-huh. Yep, in the morning I sent him an IP address which does not match any of these. So probably that one was a temporary IP address, and oh, I sent him earlier an address which also doesn't match either of these. Mhm. It starts to differentiate after this 6097 value, and yep, it is different. Now, so IP address changes, okay, because of security reasons, and this is saying that there might be a IP address which is not temporary or deprecated. DHCP v6 or Slack stateless address auto configuration. Your ISP may be dynamically assigning IPv6 addresses via DHCP v6 or Slack. This means your IP address might change periodically based on your ISP's settings. Solution: if your ISP supports it, you can request a static IPv6 address. Alternatively, you can use dynamic DNS to keep track of your changing IPv6 addresses. Router prefix changes. Prefix delegation. Yes, in this response, I do see something called prefix 64, prefix then 64. Uh-huh. Yep. In IPv6, your router often receives a prefix from your ISP and assigns address based on it. Okay. Like I have this prefix. So this part is given to my router by my ISP, and this part is added on by my router. If your ISP changes this prefix, all your IPv6 addresses will also change. Okay. Okay, if your ISP frequently changes the prefix, you will need a static IPv6 allocation from them. Alternatively, you can use unique local address ULA FD00 for internal communication. I have that. Wi-Fi reconnection, reboot. If you disconnect and reconnect to Wi-Fi, your router might assign a new IPv6. Some routers also refresh IPv6 addresses when they reboot. Okay, I really want to disconnect my router and then connect again, but then my stream would stop. Okay, and what you can do for a stable IPv6 connection? Use the stable IPv6 address, not a temporary one. Check if your router supports a static IPv6 assignment. Use dynamic DNS DDNS. Request a static IPv6. Use unique local address for local communication. I do not want something for local communication. I want to open this for global communication. And there must be something very stupid that I'm doing wrong. Uh, which is messing stuff up. Now, what is it? Hmm. All I want to do right now is open my IP address so that it becomes globally available. Okay. Hmm. I I dropped the firewall for my wait, no. Okay, if I have an IP v6 for my laptop, which is available, which is perfectly connected and perfectly responding to local requests, right? Which is perfectly responding to local requests, which is perfectly responding to local requests, right? And the only reason that some device from the global network would not be able to connect to it would be the firewall on my device, right? Is that the only reason? Where it is most likely the firewall. Okay, look for an address without this, which is linked with local and without temporary or depreciated. This is your global IPv6 address. Okay, this one which says secured and thus it is not temporary. Now I'm getting tempted to end the stream and call my friend to send some requests over to my laptop. But we got this. Your server might bind to the correct IPv6 address or this all interfaces example C code. Instruct this. This is the server address or explicitly bind to your global IPv6 address. Sudo this. On macOS, check the firewall status enabled. If enabled, allow your program. Sudo user lib exec application firewall socket filter fw. That is quite a long command. If firewall is enabled, state is 1. Now sudo this firewall if add path to my server, which is path to my program. This slash dot slash server. Okay, that seems to have worked. And unlock or temporarily disable the firewall. Not slash server. Okay, this seems to have stopped the firewall. For this, maybe I don't know. If I run the server again, and well, the client side code is always running fine. That is cool. And if check if Mac OS has blocked incoming IPv6 traffic, try allowing all incoming requests. Disables Mac OS packet filter. Okay, what is packet filter? Does not exist. Does not exist. Okay, what is PR? PR is also missing. To make it persistent, echo pass in this to pass in it. Verify if your router has IPv6 firewall rules. Some routers block inbound IPv6 connections. Well, my router does not. Yep, that is the router, my router's address, and this is the password and stuff. Let's see. Opening up my router's stuff about my router. IPv4 address, right? Wireless 4 GHz and 5 GHz wireless clients. There are 4 at this point. IPv4 WAN LAN, right? This is for my Wi-Fi and this is also for my Wi-Fi local area network, right? And yep, input output is 0%. Kernel taking 31% and 85% is just not running. Accounting is stopped. Status, device status, LAN, local area network, mesh network, wireless. Yep. Uh-huh. API, and I have all of these. So, routing, yeah, routing, routing, NAT. Okay, I am using NAT. Okay, IPv6 static routes. I want some IPv6 static routes. Let me add a table. Okay, active destination has to be mine, my laptop, and prefix length can change. I want this on the internet, on gateway and metric. IPv6 is static route configuration. Okay. Uh, uh, Let me ask ChatGPT what should the configuration be. I want an IPv6 address for my Wi-Fi. Yep. I am enabling an IPv6 static routing, right? IPv6 is static route configuration. Routing uh, in my router's settings. How, what should the configuration settings be? And will this give me a static IPv6 address which will always point to my device? Will always point to your device. That depends on ISP and local network configuration. Configuring static IP. Destination IP network. This network, the network you want to route to. Example, this for an example subnet. What is a subnet? Next hop IPv6 address. The next router's IPv6 address to forward packets if routing to an external network. Okay, internet active. Save router name. Let me give in my name. Okay, destination has to be something. Interface metric optional. There is metric. Oh, there is metric. All right. Metric means the priority for the router, low or high. Destination. This next hop. Interface WAN metric one. Metric can be for two only. Uh, Network is internet active. Destination. Prefix length. Does this give you? Nope. Enabling static routing does not necessarily give your device a fixed IPv6 address. Whether your device has a permanent IPv6 address depends on ISP assignment policy. Some ISPs assign dynamic IPv6 prefixes. What is prefix? Does my ISP give half of the IP and my router then adds the remaining remaining bits to complete it, and all the devices connected to it to that router have the same prefix but different postfix, which is added by the router. Is that correct? That seems wrong. That is exactly correct how it works. What is an IPv6 prefix? An IPv6 prefix is the first part of an IPv6 address that is assigned by your ISP to your router. The remaining part is used by our local network to assign unique addresses to devices. Think of it like a postal code system. ISP assigns a fixed street prefix to your house router. The router assigns different apartment numbers. Not exactly how, but your ISP assigns a prefix. Usually this. Okay, 64 IPv6 uses 128 bits, right? And to represent 128 bits, I would require 32 hexadecimal characters because 4 bits can be represented by one hexadecimal character. Wait, or is it 128 bytes? No, that would be actually crazy. Nope. As we assign you this, slash 64, which I can see if config en0 and grep. It was inet6. Yep, prefix 64. What does prefix 64 mean? 64, this is your prefix, smart TV, this. Oh yeah, I can use 64 different numbers after this, okay. Prefix link 64. All devices share the same prefix, this, but have different postfix. The last part, what does the router assign? How does the router assign the postfix? Your router uses one of the two methods, Slack stateless address auto configuration. Devices generate their own IPv6 addresses using their MAC address or a randomly generated value. DHCPv6, the router assigns IPv6 addresses dynamically, similar to how IPv4 DCP works. Okay, now I want to understand a few things. If my IP keeps changing after some time, does the postfix changes or the prefix changes or both change independently? I guess both. If your IPv6 address keeps changing, the key question is what part is changing, the prefix, the postfix, or both. Possible scenarios: prefix changes, most prefix changes. Okay, your ISP assigns a dynamic IPv6 prefix. Example this. After some time, your ISP changes it to something else. Example this. Originally it was this, and now it is this. Okay. Since your router gets a new prefix, all devices get new IPv6 addresses because their address depends on that prefix. Okay. This is the most likely reason your IP keeps changing. Postfix, less common. If postfix stays the same, but the if prefix stays the same, but the postfix last part changes, it is usually due to privacy extensions, temporary random postfix for privacy. Devices may generate new IPv6 addresses periodically for outbound connections. For okay, this only affects a specific device. Both changes rare. If both the prefix and postfix change independently, this means that your ISP is dynamically changing your devices, generating new temporary addresses. This is rare because normally when the prefix changes, all devices just get new addresses based on the new prefix, keeping the postfix. How to change what's changing? How to check what is changing? I can do this in or in Mac. I can do this, which I just did. If config. Wait, I just did it for en0 interface. If config grep init 6. All right, and here most of them are local network, but these two, this one is temporary and this one is permanent. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Now, why do I have two addresses? One temporary and temporary and one permanent. Uh, huh. Mm, do I communicate? Oh, let's see. You have two IP addresses for one temporary and one permanent because your system is using IPv6 privacy extensions to enhance security and privacy. Here's why. Why do you have two IPv6 addresses? When using IPv6, your device typically gets a permanent stable address, also called the global unicast address. GUA. This is based on your network's prefix and your device's MAC address or a randomly generated identifier. A temporary address, a randomly generated address that changes periodically to hide your real identity when making outbound connections. How do they work? The permanent address is used for receiving incoming connections and remains stable unless your IP changes your prefix. Okay, so the permanent address itself fucking changes. The temporary address is used for outgoing connections. That makes sense, like browsing the web to prevent websites from tracking you via a static IPv6 address. For example, if your ISP gives you the prefix this, your device might have a permanent address like this and a temporary address which changes periodically. The temporary address is preferred for outbound connections while the permanent address is still there for stable connections. While the permanent address is still there for stable connections, how often does the temporary address change? The temporary IPv6 address changes at intervals based by your OS, usually every 24 hours or by what? Yeah, the temporary address changes usually after every 24 hour, uh-huh, or after a certain number of connections. Old temporary addresses remain valid for a short time to prevent connection drop. Can I disable the temporary address? Yes, if you don't want temporary addresses, you can disable them using this sysctl wnet v6 config all user use temporary equals 0 to make it permanent. Add it to this. Mhm. Disable temporary address. Keep disable if you need to. Okay. Need a stable IPv6 address for things like SSH, remote access, or hosting a server. Okay. Mhm. To setting up a static IPv6 address for your device. Okay. First of all, what I think is happening now, I have two problems which I want to kind of get rid of. Right. First is uh, global. Global. Make my global. I That is horrible handwriting. Unacceptable. Just yep, totally unacceptable. I want an IPv6, a global IPv6. That is the first thing that I need to solve. Plus uh, a stable IPv6 address which can be used to connect to my device whenever the other person wants, whenever any program wants. So these are the two problems which I need to solve. And for this one, I think the problem is what my guess is the firewall is stopping the inbound requests. And to test that, I have to call up my friend and do stuff with him. But for this one, I guess, how do I even begin to guess? How, if the address for a server changes, how would the server broadcast its new address to the world? Some sort of CDN where the server can provide a, instead of an direct IP address, the server can provide a link, a domain name, which can be mm, which will be updated according to whatever the stable IP address the server currently has. Let's see. Domains. Buy domains. Find cheap domains. One.com. That is crazy. .in for 400 rupees. Pro. Okay. Only necessary. Life is okay. That is a lot of money. And .info is cheap. Pro is cheap. And at Hostinger, it should be about the same, of course. I can buy on GoDaddy. That is also an option. Uh-huh. .in is much more expensive here. Domain name. Domain name is domain. Let's see how expensive that is. Let's see. Domain.in is this .in.com. C.in is a unique symbol of India. Okay? .com trust with the best known domains. Mm-hmm. .in. Let's see. Is there India.in available? Can I buy it? Nope. I have. That is 1000 rupees a year. India's .finance. India plus .media. That is 400 rupees. Okay, let me do domain.com. Let's see. Okay. Domain.in, that is domain. Domain.tech. Okay. This one is expensive. That is domain.io. .io is pretty much in demand. Let's look for AI.com. That should be a crazy expensive domain if it funai.digital. AI.com that wants to DeepSeek. That is crazy. That points to DeepSeek, which is crazy. Okay, let's see how to find our stable IPv6 address. If my IPv6 address keeps changing, even the stable one, if the prefix by my ISP changes, so how can I have a stable IPv6 address that I can give to my client side code to connect to a server running on my device? Would I have to get a cheap domain, and whenever the IP changes, I can update the IP address in the DNS for my domain? Is that how it is done? I guess no. Yes, since your IPv6 uh, changes periodically, you need to ensure a stable address for your client-side code to connect to your server. Here are some options. Use DDNS service recommended. Since your IPv6 changes your IPv6 prefix, you can use a dynamic DNS. Dynamic DNS. This allows you to link a domain name to your changing IP automatically. How it works: get a free or cheap domain from provider like DuckDNS. Key. Let's go from DuckDNS or something. Install a DDNS update client on your device or set up a cron job. When your IPv6 address changes, the client updates your domain's DNS record automatically. Your client-side code can always connect using your domain name.com even if your IP address changes. Example, you set up to myserver.duckdns.org. Your server IP changes from this to this. The DDNS client updates your DNS record automatically. Your client-side code always connects to myserver.duckdns.org instead of a changing IP. No need to manually update your IP. Works even if your prefix changes. Free or very cheap. Get a static IP from your IP scons. Many ISPs don't provide static IPs. Might cost extra. Okay, let me get a free dynamic DNS hosted on AWS. No, I just uh, okay. How do I get some? Donate, install, support on Patreon. Okay, I would like to, but first of all, I would like to have some thing. Uh, why? What do we need? Duck DNS or DDNS service. Most connections to the internet are through a dynamic external IP, which changes quite often, weekly or even daily. This can make it difficult to connect to home services from an external computer. To get around this, Duck DNS is a provider of what is known as a DDNS, a dynamic DNS service. We provide a public DNS server that anyone can get a subdomain and use one of our provided scripts to update their records. So instead of trying to remember an IP address, you can use a domain name that is kept up to date by a computer at home that is kept up to date by a computer at home. Once this is done, periodically, usually every 5 minutes, the computer running the client tells our central system via HTTP post to update the record with its latest external IP. That is the IP with which it sends the request. And I guess that is pretty safe. It is up to you what you want to do with it. Usually, the IP is for your router. Okay. If you had set up your domain to example.com, then then told your router to forward the 8 the port 80 traffic plugged to a server plugged into a running web server, then from anywhere around the world you could hit example.com.duckdns.org in a web browser. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. If you had set up port 22 to be forwarded to a Raspberry Pi running SSH, you could SSH like this. A good website to find out how to port forward on your home router is forward.com. Port forward. Everything you need to troubleshoot, diagnose, and fix port forwarding issues. Okay, router guides, networking software. First of all, how do I install this and get a domain? Linux. I do not have Linux, but this would work. PS is not something that I have. If your Linux install is Linux Corn, uh, operating systems, Mac OS, Mono. Okay, there is Windows, but uh, no Mac OS routers. Okay, these are the routers, hardware, Linux, don't cause more Windows GUI, Windows script, Windows PowerShell, Windows shit. It does not exist for Mac. That is crazy. Let me do free DDNS service. IDNS forever, no IP. Free dynamic IP address got you down. Host name. Create your host name now. Dot hotpo hopto. Okay. I would like to stop sharing my screen for a minute now. Let me just stop it and sign in. Nope. Yep. Continue and let's see what happens. I want to have a DDNS service. Now you can see the screen. Yep. Dynamic DNS. Yep. That is DDNS. Personal host names. Okay. 0 of 1 host names used. Important. I have already a important notification which I probably should not miss. Create host name. Wait, what the fuck is happening? There is very urgent something above. Dynamic DNS, personal host names. Let's go there and add a host name. Yep, and a host name manage. Port 80 redirect. Can I? Okay, what the fuck is happening? First of all, I have a few questions. I have on my laptop port 80 already in use. Does that mean that there is a program which is using port 80 to receive HTTP requests, or is it being used by the browser and to receive the response of outgoing requests? Okay, some program is actively listening for HTTP request. This is not related to our web browser receiving a response for outgoing. What what does port 80 in use mean? Port 80 is the default port for HTTP servers. If a process is listening on port 80, it means that some application like Nginx, Apache, or another web server is running on your laptop and waiting for incoming HTTP requests. Your browser does not use port 80 receiving response. Instead it makes outgoing requests from random high number ports, example from this to this, and receives responses on these ports. How to check which program is using LSOF 80? Let's see. LSOF Nginx is running. Okay, that is, I didn't know. Alternatively, use this on Mac OS. I can do this. How to free port 80? I can kill sudo and provide the PID. PID is this ID, program ID. Sudos is called stop Apache, stop Nginx. I can stop Nginx. If it is occupied by my OS, AirPlay, or someone else's system, you can display AirPlay receiver system. Can my browser use? Okay. I have found out that Nginx was running on my port 80. Uh, does that mean that I at some previous point started the program and forgot to stop it, or can it start on its own? I don't think it can start on its own. It must have been my mistake. Yes, Nginx can start on its own depending on how it was installed and configured. Here is if you previously ran then this or nginx sudo nginx like field address already in use. Okay, sudo kill 537 sudo kill 635. Okay, sudo else of I80. Nothing is running on port 80. I can run my server on port 80 now. Server.c, that would be crazy to run my server on port 80 / server. Does it run? It does run on port 80. That is cool. And client, I will run the client side code and replace this with 80. Let's see, client / client, and yep, it does work. I am running stuff on port 80. This becomes 80 and I do get a key value pair on port 80. That is amazing. Okay, can Nginx start automatically? Yes, if Nginx is enabled as a system service, it will automatically start on boot. You can check its status like this. If it shows enabled, then it is a start to set automatically. Okay, sudo system profiler, system extension, systemctl, system extension ctl status nginx. Okay, okay, that is not the correct usage for system extension ctl, it seems. If it shows enabled, then it is set to start automatically. How to stop nginx? Sudo systemctl stop nginx, but this will not prevent it from starting on the boot. How to disable nginx from starting on boot? Do this systemctl. This prevents it from starting on the boot. How to completely remove nginx? Sudo apt for macOS brew uninstall nginx. Systemctl command doesn't exist on Mac. Since it doesn't have a systemd. Instead, it uses launch d. Brew services list. If you see something like nginx started user brew services list, I'm just doing a random shit at this point. Yeah, and nginx stopped. Status none. MongoDB none. MySQL Postgres unbound none. That is cool. It is start. Then it starts as a background service. Stop nginx manually. Brew services stop nginx. Prevent nginx from starting at boot. Brew services stop nginx. Okay. Brew. Wait. Brew services stop nginx. That is the same. Brew services cleanup. This ensures nginx doesn't restart automatically after reboot. Brew services stop nginx and then brew services cleanup, I guess. Stopping Nginx might take a while. Successfully stopped Nginx. Through services cleanup. Is that a command? Yep, that is the command. All user space services. Okay, nothing clean since it was already okay. Do services list. Will I still see Nginx as it stopped? Nope, nope. It says none. That I guess is better than saying it stopped. I can then uninstall. I don't need it. And sudo nginx. If you want to keep nginx, you can manually start it when needed. Wait. Okay, nginx is just a web server which which does this stuff, right? And okay. Hmm. Hmm. So if I do localhost 80 http localhost 80, will I do get the correct response. It is just fucking absurd. Command Z. Yep. And with this, I will also get the same thing. Right. And right. What I want now, I have two problems. A stable IPv6 by a dynamic DNS domain name service. Right. Yeah. Free DDNS service. Let's see. Not the free one. This one maybe. Which free dynamic DNS service do you prefer? Let's see. Uh-huh. Duck DNS free, and you never have to log in to verify you are still alive. No IP and many others you want to log in. Then where's the catch? No login means that they have a server somewhere serving your requests for free in perpetuity that costs money and they get nothing. Presumably, free dynamic DNS is a loss leader, loss leader for them. After all, the tangible cost of serving a single host name in perpetuity when you already have got the infrastructure for paid customers is so small as to almost be incalculable. There is no paid option. I took a look at their site since I wasn't familiar with their service, and they say on their page about that they don't do it just because it was a cool project. At 40 cents per million queries, I am guessing it's probably not breaking the bank, and I would imagine some folks are donating, which helps to offset the cost as well. But those are just guesses. Duck DNS. See, Duck DNS. Why about that stuff? Login with Reddit is no more. Use Reddit no more. Okay, install install DNS on Mac. I don't have this command, do I? This PS. Oh, I do have PS command, but okay, that just means okay. hmm if your Linux install is running a corn tab, then you can use a corn job to keep updated. When you see, we can see this with this. If this returns nothing, then go and read up how to install Korn for your distribution of Linux. Also confirm that you have curl installed. I have curl installed. If this returns a command not found like error, then find out how to install curl for your distribution. Otherwise, let's just get started and make a directory to put your files in. Move into it and make our main script. Make dir DNS and cd and win. Right, okay, I'll go. Um, Yeah, duck DNS make make the cd duck DNS and duck.sh .sh. That is a shell script. Okay, duck DNS for Mac. Duck DNS install for Mac. It is only for Linux, I guess. OS X. If you are not familiar with using terminal on OS X, consider using jar file. Okay, I guess for Linux it will work because it is pretty much same. Now copy this text and put it into the file. In VI, you hit the I to insert, escape to, and then U to undo, and you must change your token and domain to be the one you want to update. You can pass a comma separated no spaces list of domains. Update this domains equals example domain slash token equals this curly k this chmod, change the permissions, con tab e next to you will okay, do I have something called cron tab? I do have something called cron tab. Would like to administer your computer administration can include modifying password networks and let's see cron tab. What does it do? Man manual page for cron tab. Maintain crontab files for individual users. What are the crontab utility is the program used to install, deinstall, or list the tables used to drive cron 8 daemon in Wixi cron. Each user can have their own cron tab and they are not intended to be edited directly. What the heck are cron tabs? What is cron tab? This is like using a lot of different things that I have no idea about. Cron tab, short for cron table, okay, is a Linux and Mac OS utility used to schedule tasks, also known as cron jobs. To schedule tasks, also known as cron jobs, okay, to run automatically at specified intervals. It allows you to schedule repetitive tasks like system maintenance, backups, or any custom scripts you want to run regularly. Okay, cron tab. Okay, that is cool. That is fucking cool. I can give in a script which will run repetitively. That is cool. How it works? Cron runs in the background, which checks the cron tab files for scheduled tasks. When the time machines the schedule for a task, cron executes the task. Cron tab files. Okay, cron 10 tag daemon. It is a software which keeps running in the background, which checks the cron tab files for scheduled tasks. When the time matches the schedule for a task, cron executes the task. Cron tab files. A cron tab file is a text file that contains a list of tasks to be run, each defined by a schedule and a command to execute. Basic structure of cron tab entry. Each line in the cron tab represents a scheduled task. The structure looks like this. Command to run, day of the week, month. Okay, example. This means that script this will run at 2:20 a.m. every day. Okay, this is the command, and this is when I want it to run. Is that it? This is hour, minute, 12 months, or every day in a month for every hour. Common times index for cron tab. Cron tab.e edit, cron tab files, This will open the cron tab file in an editor, usually via an cron tab e. Yo, it is empty. It is fucking empty. And why is this like that? Slash temp slash cron tab something. Okay, slash cd slash temp slash yep, ls cd and cron tab backslash e, and that is in cron tab dot something, a number, and there is nothing called cron tab here. Okay, if I do save and then, and if I do ls now, will I see some cron tab file? Nope, I do not see some, and nope, cron tab dot slash e. Let's say this is what I want to store in my cron tab file. Item would like to administer your computer. Yeah. You want to cron tab errors in cron tab file can't install. I want to re-enter. Yep. That is wrong, right? Examples for a cron tab file: backup files, clear cache. Okay, here I provide the time and star and then sh file, address to a sh file. Okay, schedule a script to run every day at midnight for each hour. How to define it? How? Wait, what is the format for this thing? Schedule a script to run to back up your file daily at morning. Clear cache. Okay, this was the format, right? Yep. In these brackets, this is what they represent. If I say one here, then it will run every minute. Okay, that first is minute, then hour, then month, day of the month, then the month itself, then day of the week. Okay. Okay, if this means this should mean 00. That is 0th minute of 0th hour. Schedule a script to run to backup files every day at midnight. Clear cache every hour. Every hour. Right. Every hour. Update your system. What is the time? It is 17. Okay, I can schedule for 18. Right. Let me write. Yep, allow. Uh-huh. Um. Not. Yep. MKDIR shell script cd shell script and write in hello.sh. In here I will write echo hello world. And if I do, how do I run hello.sh? How do I run hello.sh? How do I run a file like that? It is not an executable file. How to run a shell file on Mac? How to run a shell file dot sh? Sh. Okay. Sh hello.sh. That works, and I still have time. Nope, I do not. But I can. I got this. N cron and cron tab, part E, and let me first see what is the present working directory. Users, Jitin Raghav, documents, programming, uh, cron tab E. It was let's say 20 star star star. How many stars? Okay, one for minute, one for day, minute, hour, yeah, then month. What the fuck? Yeah, minute, hour, month, minute, hour, day of the month, then month, and then week. Minute, hour, day of the month, and then week, and then path. It is user. Ah, shit. PWD users slash Chitranagar slash documents. Users slash slash programming slash shell scripts slash hello.sh. Yep. Allow. Installed. New Chrome tab. It's already gone. It's already gone. And where will this echo? Shit. Let me change it. Chrome tab E. Let me change this to be at 1 and cd slash temp ls, and do I have a cron tab file now? Nope, I do not. And how do I go back? How to go back to the last directory, previous directory? Yep, how to go back to the previous directory? Command cd. Yes, that is cool. Well, time was, it happened. Okay. I didn't see any hello world. Well, I get the essence of cron tab, but do I? Shell script.sh, right? E, it will open. Okay, list all cron tab jobs. Cron tab L. This is a cron tab job. Okay. Remove cron tab files. To remove cron tab files, I can do backup, clean, upgrade cron tab every week at the start of every week at 3 a.m. in the morning. Cron tab is cool. If I run echo command in cron tab, where will I see the output? That is cool. That is cool. That is cool. I can do that. Uh-huh. Okay. Instead of giving it something like this, redirecting output to a file, you can redirect the output of echo command to a file using this. I guess this is not some valid code. Yeah, this is not some valid code. Cron tab E. Here I can do 4, 5 and echo hello world, send it to, let me create a file. Yeah, cd slash users slash Jatin Raghav slash, yeah, and cron tab logs.txt. Right. And cron tab logs.txt. Vim enter dash command. Okay, let's cron tab logs.txt. I do have that by now. Cat cron tab logs.txt. There is a hello world there. Okay, that is cool. Cron tab slash L and right, this will, when will this command run? So in this case, the message, this will be written to this, redirecting the output to and you can also redirect both the standard output and error to a file. Yep. This redirects standard how to disable email notifications. Cron tab, send the output to null and send error to someplace. Discard the error. Sorry. Okay. Okay. How do how do I make a job run every minute? Hmm. This means every minute, every hour. Okay. This is essentially running every minute, so I should see cat cron tab. Okay, not here. In this cat cron tab.logs. Yep, it is running every minute, and that's cool. Cron tab slash L. Okay, cron tab slash R. What do I want to remove? Cron tab dot L. I removed all of them. That is not cool. I want to add three, not three. First for minute, then every hour, every day of the month, every month, every day of the week. Run the echo command. Hello world. Send the output to slash users slash Jatin Raghav slash documents slash cron tab log.txt. Alright, installing new cron tab. No, cron tab for Jatin Raghav using nmt cron tab slash L, and if there is something, remove this cron tab file, go to documents and cat cron tab.txt, and there is a hello world. Yeah, because it was just a minute. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. So yeah, this cron tab is used to run commands after every specified interval. What else? This is to get a stable IP address. Okay. You can, if you need to hard code an IP, best not to leave it blank, and we detect your remote IP. Yep, that is cool. IP equals question mark, then escape. Yeah, this is what I want to add. Okay. How will I get the domain name? Okay, this, does this not give me a domain name? Shell scripts ls cd duck ds and duck.sh. Yep. Example domain, it does not belong to me. Where does it belong to? Chmod, make it this and go to cron tab and do this. put it output to null and its error, discard the error and make it run every 5 minutes. Then run dot slash test the script and cat duck.log. Okay. Uh, okay. What now? Okay. How do I get a domain? So duck DNS, what duck duck DNS does is given my IP, it given my domain name, it updates that domain with my IP, or does it, or can it even give me a domain for free? Duck DNS is a dynamic DNS service that allows you to update your domain with your public IP address automatically when it changes, and it also provides free domain name services. How Duck DNS does IP address update? Duck DNS allows you to associate your dynamic IP address, example your public IPv6 or IPv4, with a domain name. So whenever your public IP changes, Duck DNS will automatically update the DNS records for your domain to point to the new IP. Automatic updates. You can use their update script to update your IP address with the Duck DNS service, and it will keep your domain DNS record synced with your current IP. This is especially useful if your IP is provided by an ISP that frequently changes dynamic IPs. Yep. Getting a domain for free. DuckDNS offers free domain subdomains under the DuckDNS hardware. For example, your domain duckdns.org. You can choose a subdomain like your domain, and DuckDNS will give you that domain for free. For example, if you choose the subdomain Jatin Rogue, your domain name will be this. Okay. Create DuckDNS account. Okay. Visit DuckDNS and sign up with an existing account such as Google, GitHub, or Twitter. Choose a subdomain when logged in. Okay. I'll have to create a subdomain after logging in. Log in with Google. I will stop sharing my screen for like 30 seconds. You can count up to 30. I will get back on track before 30 seconds. Yo, yep. Please complete the recaptcha. I gotta complete the recaptcha. Yep. Subdomain. I can provide my subdomain. Let's call it Jatin Raghav duckdns.org. Success. This has been added to my account. Okay, that is cool. That is fucking cool. Current IP is this, and IPv6. Update IPv6. IPv6 address for Jatin was already not updated. Okay. And now. I got a domain. I got a domain. I got a domain, which is cool, which is very cool actually. Right, this should work. Sh duck sh. Right, that is working. Failure written writing output to destination. Okay, if I refresh, continue. If I refresh, I don't see anything, any change. Okay, token is this type free and token generated 1 minute ago. Delete the domain. I can delete the domain if I want. Here, what do I have? Warning file or directory. Failed to open duck log. No such. Oh yeah, duck.log, or it is echo. What was the command to create a file? You know, was it cat? Nah, it wasn't cat. Or was it duck.log? Echo What is the command to create a file uh, in terminal Mac in Mac touch duck dot log. Now if I do such now failure writing to destination failed to open duck DNS slash duck dot log. Why? ls duck dot log. I do have a file called duck dot log. No file or directory. There is a file called duck dot log in here, and duck sh. Let's see what is it trying to do. Echo URL this. Uh-huh. Okay, this URL goes in as output for input, standard input for the curl command with these things. And okay, documents. This is inside documents, right? That is okay. That's it. Now it should work. No such file of it. No such file. Okay. Duck DNS. Oh, it is inside programming. Okay. And duck DNS documents, and then programming. Yep. Duck DNS and duck.log. Yep. That should work. Let's see. It does cat duck.log. Okay, I got KO due to some reason. Let's see, does it also update? Nope. And wait a minute. Yep, I am back with some popcorn. Yeah, I do not see anything updated here. I just close this and refresh here. I will be logged in probably. Yep, I am logged in. And about spec. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Uh, mm-hmm. Wait, if I go to that address, the one that I just got, I should get something. Jatin Raghav slash not slash but duck dns.com. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I get some quite a bit of error. Window park preview. Let's see. What does it say? I got a 200 response. Why? I should not have gotten that. I will see my domain name. Okay, domain. Delete domain, what the heck is the domain? Update IP. I want to update IPv6 domains. I can take 5 domains. Okay, that is cool. Domain Jatin Raghav. uh, dot duckdns.org. Okay, .org. And what do I see? Okay, is my server running? Nope, it is not running. Projects, YouTube stuff. Is not slash server running on port 80, and if I send request now, cancel and send again. It is not working. Find and replace. Mm, yeah, it's not working. But why? What is the reason? How to set up duck DNS to point to latest IPv6 address. Let's see. Go to duck DNS, sign up. Yep, get my domain. Install a script. Yep. Duplicate this nano install.h. Duplicate duckdns.org slash install.sh. Duplicate. Wait, I added w. Share. Wait, is the client part working? Programming, cd, projects, YouTube stuff, and yeah, dot slash client. It is working. It is working. Cd this cd duckdns brew install w git, and here look for the line that defines the URL. Okay, here change IP to IP6. Okay, yeah, is that all? I can do that. Dot sh slash install.sh. I should see some file. Oops, looks like we can't find that page. www.duckdns.org slash install.sh. https duckdns.org slash install.sh. If I do that from my terminal, nope. Okay, not found. And how does the current duck.sh look? Yep, it says IP there. I can just change it to IP6. Not clang, but sh duck.sh. Does it work? Seems to. Cat duck.log. I got ko, and if I go to home, I don't see anything in the IPv6. If I do curl 6 if config dot me, I see this. It is temporary, so if config en0 grep and inet. I need 6. Okay. And this is the one which is stable. Let me put this update IPv6. It should be updated now. Let's check. The server is running, which is crazy. And the last time I got e timeout. Hmm. Hmm. Which means that it is not responding. If I do HTTPS, cancel send again. Oh, that is not working. Shit. I'm stopping the stream right now because I this thing needs a lot of trial and testing, and once I get this correct, I will stream. And today, most probably, my goal after the stream ends is to shit it all got lost is to start make my server global, at least that much. Make my server global, make my server which is running on my computer global so that it can be reached from every device across the internet. That is going to be my goal. And this is it for today.